Hey there, my friends. I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Hope you're all doing well out there, ready for a nice weekend. Man, the weather's changing for the better here. We're getting that muggy weather's going away. We're going to be kind of chilly tonight, not too cold. Supposed to be pretty clear this weekend, and actually I'm about to go out and get a little bit of this down at the park after I do this video. Anyhow, I want to talk today about how important is a 100% raw food diet. Guys, I do videos every day, so if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I'd really appreciate it if you go down there and hit that big subscribe button, then click on the little bell and check send notifications so you'll stay subscribed to the channel. I've talked about the 100% raw food diet from a number of angles before. A lot of times my videos, there's a good number of my videos that are basically just kind of going over the conversations I'm having in my head or that I've recently been having in my head. And you know, like I told you guys, I had like a wonky day on Tuesday. I laid in the bed most of the day, kind of, the TV was on, but I really was kind of in and out. I was mostly thinking about things, and I kind of got thinking about it then, and the various, you know, the ratios of cooked food I've eaten when I've eaten 100% fully raw, the things I've eaten cooked when I haven't eaten fully raw, and just kind of thinking about the whole thing and just talking about the big picture. It's basically the voices in my head that discuss these things, you know. There's nobody else here to entertain me, so they have to entertain each other. My thoughts on this is you'll probably, if you've watched this, but I always have to clarify because I know I'm kind of a smart ass about it sometime when I talk about the 100% raw and the raw label and the fully raw thing. I'm talking mostly about that mentality, that mindset of just extremism, of raw before everything. Never make any mistake. I believe highly in the power of the raw living foods. And I've told you this from day one, and I've always felt my best. I've always felt my best when I'm eating fully raw. You know, it was like, I've seen what happens to a guy, like basically I've told you guys a million times, I'm lazy. When it was in Costa Rica, there was no effort to doing it, so I have to put in a little bit more effort. So yeah, I get a little sloppy at time to time, and I don't get the fruit that I would like to see here, but I know what works for me. I know what works for me the best. It's just that I make my decisions here, and I'm very, it's almost down to like detail. Like I can really tell slight differences in things that I put into my body. And there are things that I've eaten, you know, and sometimes if I'll say go to a vegan restaurant, you know, that's more comfort food, just a little bit of fun. There's two restaurants I go to in Pensacola, but the one I've been going to the longest, you know, it's not as strict, healthy as, you know, some of the stuff I like. So I can tell the difference when I eat something like that that's a lot heavier than, say, when I steam some sweet potatoes here, or I steam some, you know, some vegetables, like what I like a lot. I like broccoli, I like Brussels sprouts and stuff like that. But the other day, as I was laying in bed, I'm like, I think it's about time to do a little house cleaning again, even though it's not spring yet, although didn't the groundhog say it was going to be early this year? I think it's time to start kind of slowly, you know, doing a little bit of that spring cleaning and getting back tightened up again. So I've been looking at recipes. I've been finding some new recipes like that salad dressing from yesterday's video, what I eat in a day. If you haven't seen that one, go check it out. And yeah, I'm kind of slipping back into that raw thing again, and I'm not trying to tell you like I'd gone to where I was eating cooked food all day, every day. It's just, you know, like I say, I kind of gotten to where, and also too with this issue I had where I just didn't really want to think about food, didn't want to prepare food, and I could only eat so much banana and ice cream and smoothies. I cooked a good bit during the times when this was the worst, just because I didn't want to think about it. Like for me to steam potatoes is the easiest, no effort. You know, I just chop them up, I put them in the pot, and I steam them up. But as I'm feeling better, and like I say the other day, feeling kind of wonky and thinking, okay, well, maybe you need to tighten up. Maybe that's why you had kind of a couple of wonky days. I have, and I've been getting back around to it. Now, as far why 100% raw food diet? You know, like I say, there's three things I look at when somebody is, you know, is talking about health. If they're, you know, whether they're an educator or just a person, if they're advocating something, there's three things I kind of look at to see, okay, well, how are you really doing on this lifestyle? I look at body composition. Now, we're all different, and don't everybody start going all PC and telling me this and that. Yeah, people have certain body types. And when I look at a body, and actually whether I'm saying I think that's a healthy body, a fit body, or even when I say it's an attractive body, I'm not using the same terminology as society in general is. I see a lot of bodies out there that are not they're not going to be in the magazine, you know. For the women, they're not curved. For the guys, they're not V-shaped and chiseled. But you can tell they are healthy. They eat functionally. They get exercise. They get movement. You know, the ones, they're just maybe not obsessive about it. Or like I say, there are some fit people that just don't get, you know, ridiculously skinny on this thing. So there's a lot of difference, but you can tell. And like I say, I can tell, and I'm not limited that to one body size or shape, but I can always kind of just tell height, weight, how they move. Movement's very important, how they move that body, move that weight. But you check out the body, you look into those eyes. Like I said yesterday, even eating cooked food, you know, my eyes are still got it going on. And skin. You know, I see too many people out there that are I see educators. I see people that are big advocates, even if they're not doing a channel or whatever, that are, you know, blah 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 blah, like they're an expert. And I'm like, your skin is horrid. Your skin is horrid. Now, it can take a while to clear it up, and I know there's exceptions out there. But if you're Mr. or Mrs. Raw Vegan for 2 or 3 years and you're not clicking on any of these, I'm like, okay, body-wise doesn't look super fit, super healthy, super vibrant. I don't see those bright, shining eyes, and they got bad skin. I'm just like, okay, so what are you doing? Maybe you are fully raw. I don't see a lot of people lying about that out there, but like I've talked about a million times. They're doing it with the fat. They're doing it by scarfing down all these nuts and nut butters and whatever. And somebody will ask me, Jack, are you against this and that? No, I'm not against it. I just don't make nuts, butters, all that kind of stuff part of my staples, part of my day-to-day. I'm not afraid to let go. I mean, sometimes I think people, when I talk about low fat, they think I'm obsessive. And there are some of those obsessive low-fat people. You know, I use tahini. I use, sometimes I'll get a taste and I'll have an avocado, a full avocado, 3 or 4 or 5 days in a row. But I just, you know, I don't try to use fat to stay raw. In other words, I'll always take, and I'm sorry, this is just me, I will always take steamed potatoes or steamed vegetables over something heavy with a lot of nuts or a lot of fat in there just to make it nice, all creamy and stuff. And I'm talking a lot of fat. I'm not talking about even a moderate amount of fat. So those are the three things I look at. Now, one thing too, and I was thinking about this when I was in bed the other day, and I've thought about this a lot recently. I'm very fortunate. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. It's not fair, because I know a lot of people that haven't, you know, put near as much wear and tear on their body, and they have horrible, you know, health conditions. I mean, I see some of these people and I'm like, I don't even want to look, because it's like, that freaks me out. Like, they're dealing with 3 or 4 major things, and I'm a baby. I'm a big baby. Even like getting something like sick like that, I'm like, oh my God, I can't stand being sick. I don't really like pain. So even having been a 30-year drunk, eating the standard American diet, I came into this lifestyle pretty healthy. You know, who knows? Maybe all of a sudden one day it'll all break down and I'll die at once. But, you know, all the things like a liver, I don't see any sign of liver damage. I haven't started any jaundice or yellowing. I don't see anything in my body with liver function. So what I'm getting at is, I didn't come into this lifestyle with health problems. Now, here's where it gets interesting, and here's where I don't hold back. People are kind of like, you know, kind of this mamby-pamby, okay, well, I'm going to stick in my foot in the water. Let me make it perfectly clear. If I had something serious to heal, you know, whether it was pain, digestive issues, or whatever, there wouldn't be compromise. There wouldn't be doing the best I can. There wouldn't be blah, blah, blah. I'd be going straight for the top for healing. So for healing, I do believe when we're healing issues in our body that that fully raw is the best. Now, once again, I'm not trying to get into semantics. You know, I would still consider somebody fully raw if, say, they eat raw all the time and they steamed, you know, maybe during the month they steamed sweet potatoes once and they steamed broccoli. I'm not talking about just a little amount, but I'm talking about it being like 99 point, you know, whatever for healing for sure. And honestly, I don't understand, especially if it's life-threatening. I don't ever say this because, you know, it's kind of awkward and you don't want to make that person that's already dealing with a health issue feel bad. But no, there would be no holding back if I had something that was life-threatening or that was like a serious condition. I'd go straight for the top. I'd go high. I'd go, you know, fully raw. I'd be even eating fully raw, low fat. I'd be doing other things. And depending on how serious it was, and this is just for me. There's no medical information. I don't give other people. I just tell you, like I've always said, what I would do if certain things happen. Certain things happen like that, I'd be moving up that healing pyramid. I'd probably, you know, I would do that raw, real pure for a bit, then I'd juice feast, then I would go to water fasting, then I might do some dry fasting, because that's, you know, that's where I believe that healing is. So ain't no fooling around on the healing part of it, but I don't have to fool with that. So anyhow, just my thoughts on the matter. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.